like to call to order the December 15th, 2009 meeting of the Louisville Planning and Zoning Commission and announce that we do have a quorum present. Item 2 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the December 1st, 2009 meeting. Do I have any comments, corrections, or questions regarding the previous minutes? And if not, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Karen, second from James, to approve the minutes of the December 1st, 2009 meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Meeting minutes are approved. Item 3 on the agenda is public hearing consent agenda plats. Item 3A is the final plat of DCTA Old Town Station Addition, Lot 1, Block A, a 9.08 acre tract zoned public use located at the southeast corner of College Street and Railroad Street. David.
As indicated in the staff backup, the plat is located immediately east of Railroad Street, south of College, and north of Main Street. The lot will be used for a park and ride that will serve the Old Town DCTA train station. The plat meets all the requirements of the General Development Ordinance, and staff is recommending approval.
Thank you, David. At this time, do we have any questions? Sorry, from the commissioners for David. Nope. At this time, I'll open the public hearing on item 3A. Anyone wishing to speak for or against item 3A can step forward and do so now. And if not, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah,
Bill.
Oh, okay. So moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The public hearing is closed on item 3A. Do we have any further discussion at all on that one? Oh, I'm sorry, and that previous one I think was Bill and Karen, right? Okay.
Right.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion from Karen to approve item 3A.
Second.
Second from James. This is to actually approve item 3A. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Item 3A is approved. Item 4 is public hearing plats. Item 4A is final plat of Castle Hills Phase 5, Section A, lots 1R, 2R, 43, 44, and 45X. Block A, a 1.02 acre tract designated as State Townhouse, located on Four Stones Boulevard at Lancer Lane and Castle Hills.
As indicated, this is a replat of a portion of Castle Hills Phase 5, Section A. It's a replat of 3 lots. The resulting replat will have 4 single-family lots and 1 common area lot. Attached to the replat of these lots are 2 variances. The first variance is to allow a 44-foot street right-of-way with 6-foot sidewalk and utility easements. That variance was granted with the original plat of the subdivision, and of course has to be reconsidered with any replat. With regard to staff recommendation on that variance, obviously the remainder of the subdivision has 44-foot street right-of-ways with the 6-foot sidewalk easement, so from a technical standpoint, wouldn't make very much sense to have just these few lots with a different right-of-way width, so staff is recommending approval of the first variance. The second variance is to waive the required sidewalk along Highway 121 tollway adjacent to Castle Hills Phase 5, Section A. In your backup, there is a variance exhibit that shows the entirety of Section 5, Phase A. You can see the subject lots, again, are just a relatively short or relatively small area along the west property line adjacent to Highway 121. The original plat had Lancer Lane coming all the way through and intersecting the service road on 121. With this plat, they're eliminating the Lancer Lane right-of-way, and reconfiguring the alleys and doing some minor modifications to the utilities. The purpose of the variance to eliminate the sidewalk along 121 is that given that this subdivision will no longer have any physical connection to Highway 121, and combined with the fact that immediately south of here is the city of Carrollton, and none of the developed property in Carrollton between here and Hebron Parkway was required to install sidewalk. There's really a sidewalk at this location would not serve any particular purpose, especially with regard to this subdivision. It wouldn't connect to anything to the south, and there would be no way for anyone who lives in this subdivision to access the sidewalk unless they walked all the way around the block. So staff is recommending approval of that variance as well. I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. I know the applicants are here as well, if you have any questions of them.
In reference to the sidewalk, there's no walking paths or bicycle paths that would interconnect?
No, there's a common area lot, but it's separated from Highway 121 by a wall, and there's no way for anyone to walk from one side to the other.
Okay. And the wall's in place?
For the most part. I think there's an opening where Lancer Lane comes through right now, but of course their whole plan is to close up Lancer Lane to eliminate cut-through traffic. So once they do that, there won't be any connection.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions? David, you were saying that the adjoining Carrollton piece does not have sidewalks either. Where are we talking about? Down south of this?
Yeah, immediately to the south. The Carrollton city limits is the Carrollton city limits is right along the south boundary line of this subdivision, and so from that point going south down to Hebron Parkway, which is all in Carrollton, there is no existing sidewalk, and there's, I think, 3 tracks that are developed, and none of them have sidewalk. I attempted to find out from the city of Carrollton whether there were variances granted. They couldn't find the records, but for whatever reason, the city of Carrollton didn't require sidewalks.
And in those, do you know in those properties to the south, or those pieces of Carrollton that do not have the sidewalks, are they also walled off from 121 like Castle Hills is? What is along there that is not sidewalk?
One of them is a multifamily apartment complex. I think there's a wrought iron fence or something. It's not a solid wall. There's a townhome subdivision, which is the last time I was out there was still under construction. I don't know whether they have plans to build a wall or not. And then there was a retail development right at the corner of 121 and Hebron that has access to 121, but obviously it's a retail development, and so, it has frontage and access.
And well, I guess whether or not if we don't allow the variance, does that mean that the subdivision wall actually can't be put up? Is it taking the space that is needed for the sidewalk, or just not developing it outside the wall?
No, there just wouldn't be a sidewalk outside the wall. The wall will be there regardless of the outcome of the variance. The only difference would be is if the variance is not granted, then the developers would be required to build a sidewalk on the outside of the wall adjacent to the 121 service road.
Directly across from Castle Hills at this point, is there anything right now? I don't think there is. That's actually, let me say that another way. This is actually the access road to 121 toll, right? Like in your drawing right there, that State Highway number 121 bypass, that's actually the service road. Down to the left of that, down below, lower, is the actual toll running underneath of it.
Well, no, you've got the service road, and then you've got the main toll lane.
Okay, so your picture is depicting basically the whole
It's
block.
it's the
that it-
whole right-of-way, yeah.
Okay.
And then on the opposite side, I believe that the Castle Hills or Bright Ranch owns additional property over on the other side.
Okay. Okay. I'm a little nervous about it because I've just seen areas, because this area really, I've just seen a lot of areas where no sidewalks are developed, and then in the future, sidewalks are developed around that, and you have a gap. I have one really just down from my home that, for the life of me, I can never figure out why there's a big giant gap of grass up until you meet up with the next sidewalk. And I guess I'm a little hesitant because this whole area isn't necessarily completely built out to where we're never going to see anything more along here. I mean, you got new schools. You got a lot happening up just to the north of FM 544. There's a lot of open land right there. We have no idea what's going to be on that land really at this point. So, you know, when you get more development, even on this side of the tollway up north of 544, who has, even with the school over there, who has sidewalks and stuff, and suddenly you have this block with no sidewalk. And I understand that maybe the folks in there can't access it, you know, they can't cut through Lancer Lane anymore, but that doesn't mean that there won't be somebody accessing it. Just because they aren't accessing it from inside the subdivision doesn't make it a valid sidewalk. That somebody somewhere in connecting, joining property as this grows might not need. So it makes me very nervous.
Well,
very nervous.
I think in this case, what makes it, had there have been sidewalk in the city of Carrollton on the already developed parcels, and somewhere that this might connect at some point in the future, I think staff might have had a different recommendation. But I think given the two things in combination, number one, no access, and then number two, the fact that a significant amount of the property immediately south of here is already developed and has no sidewalk, and obviously we in the city of Louisville have no control of that. And for whatever reason, the city of Carrollton either granted a variance or didn't require it, or whatever happened. And you've got Highway 544 right here. Castle Hills owns all the way up. Actually, they own the property north of 544
Right.
as well.
To the
There
south-
just didn't seem to be any particular purpose to have a sidewalk between 544 and their southern boundary line, given that there was no...
Is the southern boundary line not the big arch opening to Castle Hills, or not? I always forget where that is. I think it's further south, maybe. I don't remember. Where is the big opening on?
Well, the big...
Oh, that's
I think
off
what
of
you're
Denton
talking
Road.
about is over on Old Denton Road.
Okay.
This is over on the 121 side. There really is no access directly into Castle Hills off of 121.
Okay. All right. Thanks, David. Any other comments or questions?
David, what's the speed limit along there on the service road?
Oh, goodness. I don't know specifically, but I know it's probably going to be somewhere in the 55 or 60 mile an hour range.
In fact, I think the Transportation Board just altered that, did we not? It is around 55 or 60. It's right in there. So,
Yeah.
Oh, 55? Okay. 55 from the audience back there right now.
People
So,
walking along 55 mile an hour driving.
okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure, because you always just end up with a piece that's cut off, and when you have a large community of people where they do have an opportunity potentially to go onto that piece, there's always folks that like to walk dogs and jog and run in the morning, and it may not seem like a piece that people may use, but I've been surprised at what people will use when it is there if they have a chance to get out and exercise or walk or do whatever they want to do. So I just want to make sure we're not providing a nice piece. Like I said, I understand south of it. I was particularly concerned that north of it that might develop more and you might have more opportunity for people who are walking along there, but if that does not seem to be the case, then that's fine.
Well, and in this case, Highway 544 seems to be a dividing line. The only piece left is just a very narrow future retail site. And other than that, it doesn't appear that there's going to be any sidewalk along 121 all the way from 544 down to Hebron Parkway.
Okay. All right, thanks, David. Okay, at this time, I'll open the public hearing for item 4A. Anyone wishing to speak for or against item 4A can step forward and do so. Yes, sir. And please state who you are and where you're from, and if there's a sign-up sheet there. If not, then, David, do we have anything to...
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm Eric Stanley with Bright Realty, and I'm in favor of this. There is a sidewalk inside this subdivision on the inside side of the wall
Right.
that goes all the way around here, and one that comes through this common area and comes this way. I've walked my own dog on it. I live in Castle Hills. So there, in terms of the enjoyment factor, there is a very extensive sidewalk on the inside side of the wall. This wall along 121 is 8 feet tall.
Okay.
It is the barrier. That's for what that's worth.
Okay, thank you, sir, very much. Anyone else for or against item 4A? If not, can I have a motion, please, to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close.
Second.
Motion from Karen, second Jim, to close the public hearing on item 4A. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Public hearing is closed. Do we have any other discussion on this or either variance? I guess we kind of glossed over the first variance, but obviously it's a little bit of a give-me. So any more discussion at all? And if not, do we have a motion to recommend approval of item 4A?
Recommend approval of the city council.
Motion from Karen, second from Alvin, to recommend approval of item 4A. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And item 5 is adjournment. Meeting is adjourned.